Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix.
Hello, and welcome to the Geek Matrix DC Comics Review Show, episode number 220. If I remember right from last week. We had that.
Where we both
debate.
got it wrong. You're like 218. No, 220. Shit.
One of these days. But yeah, so we are here, as always, to play with our figures in front of you. Don't mind me.
Mine
talk
are always
comics
behind me.
Yeah, I like to actually do things with mine.
Son,
but that's a story.
Mine are in constant states of action.
Sit there. That's what I mean.
And then I take them and I repose them into other phases of action.
You got so offended. Thank you, Twitch, for telling me that we are streaming. Yeah, but we are here, as always, to talk about comics, among other stuff. But more importantly, this weekend, starting today no less, is New York Comic Con. And there has been a flurry of news. Oh, that's why it doesn't fit. Okay.
Reported firsthand from our
eye in the sky, our man on the ground.
Our correspondent.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's better.
I was trying to think of what the Daily Show calls it when they fuck up.
Our senior geek correspondent.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, Brandon Chandler.
Mr. Brandon?
He is at the show, on the showroom floor right now. At least I assume right now. I don't know what time the showroom floor closes on a Thursday, but he is there. He's already met a couple of creators. None other than one that's been on this bucket list forever. And when he sent us the photo, he said, in the high school, Brandon is crying right now. And it was Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, 100%.
Who he's always wanted to meet and never had an opportunity, and now he has. And it's a sight to behold. It's a beautiful thing. Brandon, we're happy for you, man, and we can't wait to hear about all your adventures next week when you return to us. But for now, we can talk about some stuff that's been announced so far today. And quite honestly, there's not much. I've been checking periodically throughout the day, but I haven't seen too many major announcements yet. But one that did come across the news feeds today was another Ultimate comic that's coming.
Do tell.
Yeah, so we are getting, with the release of, I believe it'll be in January, Ultimate 1 year in, or Ultimate Comics 1 year in special, is just detailing the year anniversary, basically, of the return of Ultimate Comics. And it's going to basically tease stuff for the future and introduce a whole bunch of new stuff, including Ultimate Wolverine, who will be getting his own miniseries or solo series. And this, while a lot of the images do show that it does look like Logan behind the costume, or behind the mask rather, the costume is very different. It has a big red star right in the middle of the body. For a good reason, that it also shows him fighting Colossus and Omega Red in the Ultimate
Which
Universe.
means
if
he ain't Canadian anymore.
Well, he could be. We don't really know that for sure. followers of the Ultimate Universe so far already know that the Ultimate World, the Ultimate Earth, has been split into different controlled nations, controlled by various powered people, being their own quote-unquote Illuminati, or Dark Order, whatever you want to call it. And the Eurasian capital, or I guess not all Eurasia, mostly the Russian territories, are controlled by Colossus, Magic, and Omega Red. They are the leaders of that area. So they are the underlings of the Maker that control that territory, and Wolverine will be fighting them, it seems like. Because this Wolverine is the Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's where the Red Star dirt.
Yeah.
Here I am thinking, okay, he's fighting Colossus, he's fighting Omega. He's got to be Russian.
Not necessarily, because
if he's the Red Star, I didn't even click.
Didn't click, right? So you were thinking like
Red Sun,
what's his name?
kind of.
Like oh my god, what the hell's his name? He's in Black Widow. The Russian Captain America.
God, why do I want to call him Rocket Red? That's not it. That's from DC.
That's DC. Yeah,
Red
Guardian. Red Guardian.
Yes, Red Guardian.
Yeah.
He's going to be in fucking Thunderbolts and.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's played by one of the greatest actors.
David Harbour in the house.
Yep. David Harbour.
Representing tubby superheroes everywhere.
But no, apparently the weapon. The Weapon X program and the Winter Soldier program have combined and become the Winter Soldier Wolverine program, basically. So that is to be expected coming forward. That's all the news we have for Ultimate Comics right now. Like I said, there's not much news yet.
Regarding the Ultimate Universe or in general?
In general, there's definitely some.
'Cause I'm thinking eventually we're going to get Ultimates.
That already happened. It's the
Are you fucking kidding me? Here I am being shitty about it. Ultimate.
Well, it's just called The Ultimates, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know about the Ultimates, right? Ultimate Avengers?
Nope, I haven't read any of the Ultimates. I've read Black Panther and Spider-Man. You know, I'm reading those ones.
Yeah.
And then, hold on. Love that. Collections. There we go. To read. Yeah, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men. I gave a shot to. The other one that I was reading, I was thinking was Ultimate. It's not. It's just the new X-Men from the Ashes, which is really freaking good.
Yeah, it's honestly really good.
I haven't started X-Force yet, and I know I'm way behind, like 4 months behind.
I don't think I've checked out X-Force yet, but I'm reading X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, and X-Factor, and I might just stick with those three. X-Factor is a bit of a funny premise and an interesting read so far, and looks like it, depending on how the stories flow, might connect to the main X-Men book at some point. Because X-Factor is potentially being led by Havoc, and X-Men is being led by Cyclops, and they've kind of talked about each other in their respective books so far, so there might be a connection down the line.
I mean, they're brothers, aren't they?
They are, yeah. So, so any other news that we have so far? What do you got, Russell? Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Marvel announces the Rise of Emperor Doom for 2025, spinning out of hell. I don't remember what event it was, but wasn't it? It was the one with the vampires. Shit, I don't remember. I wasn't reading it. Doctor Doom is now the new Sorcerer Supreme in the Marvel Universe, and 2025 is going to be the year of Doctor Doom. Surprise, surprise, with Doctor Doom making his way into the MCU. I can't imagine this is a coincidence timing-wise, but also Doctor Doom, in my opinion, is a badass motherfucker and a huge villain. So I'm all for more Doctor Doom being like front and center as a major villain in the Marvel Universe. Really works during Secret Wars, so let's go for it. IDW debuted a new logo. I was going to send it to you guys, but then I forgot.
So ugly.
Yeah.
So ugly.
I looked at it, I'm like, okay, I see the I and the D, and where's the W? Oh, wait, I see the W. That's dumb. Yeah.
I don't know who the hell they paid too much money for that for, but
yeah,
they paid too much money for that.
Apparently, it was for their 25th anniversary. They decided to have a brand new logo, which they didn't need because their old logo was not exactly iconic, but recognizable, and all they needed. Right? It said IDW. Right. They are IDW. Just leave it at that. Yeah, so they might change it back. If this faces backlash on the levels of Sonic the Hedgehog and up to the first trailer, maybe they'll change it back.
They'll change it.
That, to me, is forever going to be one of the greatest moments of the internet, where, like, that design for Sonic got so much hate, the animator's like, okay, give us a year. We'll change it. We'll push it back.
We'll redo this. We'll Sorry about the teeth.
Yeah. That's kudos to that fucking animation crew and everybody working on that movie. You're like, okay, this is a bad idea. Maybe we should listen to people. It's not like the executives are like, no, we're not fucking pushing back. Just do it. No, they're like, we need to do this. And it was a good move. Let's face it, they probably would not have gotten a sequel if they kept that design, no matter how good that movie is. But
his fucking teeth would have given children nightmares.
Yeah, no matter how good that movie would have been, or is, that design would have just been so distracting.
100%.
Yeah. Marvel and DC are launching more digital comics. Marvel's launching on their own app Astonishing X-Men, Astonishing Spider-Man, and Astonishing Avengers, read vertically, and on the flip side, as a webcomic, part of the Infinity Comics line, which is their imprint for like just digital online comics read on Marvel Unlimited. And then DC has partnered with Global Comics, where you can right now, and I know you can because I've checked it out personally, start reading a whole bunch of various classics featuring various characters from DC Universe. The unfortunate part is the very first book that pops up is Batman 3 Jokers, but that's besides the point. Alongside a bunch of their iconic books from Justice League and Batman, Superman, etc., all sorts of people, they also have 2 original books that are only available to read on this app. And the whole thing with this, what they're trying to do here is make comics more easier to read for the quote-unquote TikTok generation, where they just doom scroll all day, and this is all they do. So that's what they're doing for comics. They're putting them and reformatting them digitally in an app where you could read vertically by scrolling up, just using your thumb. The problem is, and I checked it out, for longtime comic readers, at least for me, I found it very frustrating because instead of getting the whole page, you go panel by panel. And you see the whole page, but it only highlights a panel at a time until you scroll and goes to the next panel. Then you scroll, goes to the next panel. And the rest of the page is there, but just shaded out.
So it's like how Comixology used to be with their app. You used to be able to set it to where you could flip page by page, or it would go panel by panel.
Yeah, the problem is, as far as I know so far, you're not able to change it. Right, let me.
Well, I managed to check out Harley Quinn and Nightwing, but I'll get to those in a minute.
Yeah, so for an example, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Right? It's going
Yep.
panel by panel. And
Yep.
zooming in like that, it's so
And-
fucking distracting and frustrating. And, well, now I got to pay.
well, damn it.
Yeah. I started to read some old Green Arrow. It's actually they have Mike Grell Green Arrow on here. That's what I started reading. And I got 2
Nice.
pages in. I'm like, I'm not even able to look at the whole page. I want to appreciate the fucking art. And I can't do that because there's so many portions of it just omitted and cut off. You can
Mhm.
see it's there. You just can't scroll over to look at it. And like that's
Right.
that's half the fun of reading comics is appreciating the fantastic art that's in front of you or complaining about the shit art that's also in front of you. Right? So I just didn't like it, but yeah, they have 2. I was trying to find the fucking series and I can't find them, but they have 2 books. Is it the Life and Times of Harley Quinn or the
Harley Quinn and Paradise and nothing but Nightwing.
That's but
With-
spelled Butt
2 T's.
because Nightwing's got a butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
have
covered
not,
those and go ahead.
Um,
Sorry.
but yeah,
interrupted you all the time.
you can still cover them in honorables if you want. Like I haven't looked at the Harley Quinn one, but I've seen snippets of the Nightwing one, and like checked out some pages, and it just doesn't look great. Like there's nothing wrong with the art, but the story is kind of dumb. It's apparently Nightwing has to go undercover as a fashion model,
Yeah.
and I think Barbara breaks up with him because he's too boring.
No, that's not it. But we'll hit it. Was there
Okay.
any more news that we had going on?
As far as I know, that's it. As far as I remember, anyway. I think that's it. I found an Inigo Montoya figure over the weekend.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Of course I did. Of course I did. What do you take me for?
You
peasant.
bought
I've
the Montoya
I've
figure.
Pizzini
Now prepare to die.
and Inigo Montoya. My sister has Dread Pirate Roberts, and I had Vizzini. We both got them at Dollarama, and then we were going to look for ones for ourselves. But then it was my nephew's birthday over the weekend. We were at my sister's, so I took him out to get something for his birthday. We went to a record store because he got a record player, and I found these. There's 2, so I got one for me, one for my sister.
Nice.
It was perfect. I take it
Oh,
back
yeah.
to her place. I give her hers.
Mhm.
Hers is still in the box. I proceed to open mine. And I get yelled at by my mom and my sister saying, "What's wrong with you?"
What are you talking about?
What's wrong with you? I want to make scenes. I want to use it. I don't want to just sit in a box. Right,
Right?
Grady?
No, I've got Grady. I've got 2 I have 2 copies of my dude.
Yeah.
I
So you
have
have one
sitting
in-box
down at
and
the end
one
of my
out.
desk here,
Yeah.
completely reminding me that that's just like your opinion, man. And and another one in the box.
Yeah. Which is fair because that's a statue. That's more of a collectible. These are action.
Yeah, if it's an
figures.
action figure, yeah.
Make it do action. If it's a statue, you want to keep it in the box because it's a limited option, limited quantity. By all means, keep it in the box. I don't care. That's your prerogative. If you want to keep pop figures and action figures in the box, that's your prerogative. But I'm going to call you weird because these are action figures. They're meant to be action.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I can already hear Isaiah saying, "What do you mean, you people?"
See, that's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, they're meant to be with by 8-year-olds. Then why do you have them? If out of the box.
You know something that I just found out?
Russell's
The
30
Nightmare
years old,
Batman.
uses Facebook.
The Nightmare Batman from the Batman versus Superman line from the Zack Snyder Justice League comes with guns.
Yeah, he had guns in the movie.
Right.
Because Zack Snyder does not know what he's doing.
But McFarlane,
Uh-huh.
or DC, who I want to say it's DC,
Too
has
late, I already
mandated
lied.
that they will not license their stuff to be sold with guns.
Wait,
as
who?
long as it's labeled a toy. If it's labeled not a toy, McFarlane can sell it with guns.
Right.
Apparently, you can only do that with certain things.
Yeah, I've seen images of boxes that say "not a toy" on it, and I don't know if that was just photoshopped.
Nope.
But like, I've looked at every package I've got, never seen that.
Yep, never seen it.
Yeah.
So as long as they stamp "not a toy" on it, they can sell it with guns. So I feel like all of them should say "not a toy," or at least the ones that should have guns. Harley should have a gun. Joker should have a gun. Deathstroke should have a gun. Grifter should have a gun. I mean, there's the Red Hood should have guns.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I got the All Blade, so I'm happy with that. But man, when they put the All Blade in there, I mean, it was like I could not pass it up. I wish it looked a little more All Bladey, but
yeah,
it looks pretty cool sitting in his harness behind his shoulder too. So
yeah, it's got a crowbar too, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yeah.
Yep, crowbar,
he's still
crowbar, and the All Blade.
building something.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, if they label everything not a toy, it'd be really weird for a company that's called McFarlane Toys. It's a toy company. What do they sell? I don't know, not toys.
So, what do you guys call Kraft macaroni and cheese up there?
We call it Kraft dinner because that's what they
Right,
call
you
it.
call it Kraft dinner, but you could eat it for lunch.
No, but that's what they call it.
Well, we have to follow their directions. You can't have macaroni and cheese for lunch.
Why?
You buy that Batman versus Superman action figure that's not a toy. By God, you better not play with it.
Russell, you shut the hell up because you're already. I can hear you crying out because if you had the option, you would eat Katie 24/7 with ketchup.
Oh, what?
That's actually what we're having for dinner too. We have 3 boxes of the extra creamy.
All right, now I will tell you that straight up, and this is not a lie. Kraft Dinner white cheddar in Canada is so much better than the white cheddar macaroni and cheese here.
How?
And
Isn't it
I
the same
don't know
thing?
why. You would think, but they are not.
Wow.
They are not. The Canadian one tastes so much better.
Is the white cheddar in America just American cheese boiled in milk?
I mean, I don't know. It shows up dehydrated. Not all Kraft dinner is better than your mac and cheese.
They also
That's
have
a
Kraft.
hateful Canadian right there.
It's the same thing, just labeled differently. At least that's what
I'm telling-
Apparently, the white cheddar is better up here.
I'm telling you that the Kraft dinner white cheddar that you buy is way, way, way better than the Kraft macaroni and mac and cheese white cheddar in the United States, and they are not the same. See, even Russell agrees. They are not the same.
Blows my mind.
The American one tastes like chemicals.
That's wild.
Yours tastes like white cheddar.
cheese.
Yeah,
That's insane.
it is insane.
Yeah.
All right, before we get too far along into boxed pasta talk, we should probably focus on the comic books that we've got at hand.
Yeah.
We got Eclipso Fright, Phantom Zone Fight, Green Lantern's Light, and Catwoman's new suit is tight. Shall we shall we
Is it ever?
shall we move on?
Can I be honest with you? So like that was the last issue I read was Catwoman. And she put on the new suit and like, all right, I dig it. It's a cool suit. Prototype. I don't know what's prototype about it. It's fucking leather, but all right. And then she was running across the rooftops and the whip, like in every suit, was just attached to the back like a tail. I'm thinking, where the fuck did she attach that to? Well, there's like, it didn't show any attachment, clip, holder, nothing. What?
It's magnet.
It's just like wedged between her cheeks. What the? I don't.
Those are some
I
dynamic
don't get
cheeks.
Is that a Batman reference?
It definitely was.
Talk about a dynamic duo, am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So before or after? I'll do I can't remember what I usually do, but I'll go ahead and run through all of our honorable mentions covered each week by me.
Yeah.
Except when I don't. MultiVersus Collision Detected number 3. Right. Rated by Dash. He gave this one a 4 out of 5. He said this issue is just crazy, but it is good, and he loves the pictures.
Right on.
Next up, Jenny Sparks number 3. Written by an 8-year-old. Just kidding. But it is rated 4 out of 10. It's rated very high for the art. Evil Captain Adam kills the entire Justice League team, but also doesn't. And Jenny smokes. Seriously, such great writing. Batman Full Moon number 1. Gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's an interesting story so far. Batman's no stranger to horror stories, but this one feels a little different. I enjoyed it and Subik's art, but please, Subik, stop signing interior pages. You look incredibly full of yourself when you do that. It's in the credits. That's the only place it needs to be unless you're a cover artist. I don't need to see Subik on 8 pages inside.
Oh, shit. I mean, yeah, there's occasionally you might see one on a big splash page, but from an artist, but that's really rare.
Yeah.
8 panels?
Well, here we saw it a lot.
Wow.
Dark Knights of Steel Allwinter number 4. I really hope that DKOS continues on after this, like a White Knight kind of universe. Please. It has been very fun to read, and I have no doubt that it will continue. Great art as always. 8 out of 10. Batman and Robin Year 1 number 1. I gave this one an 8 out of 10 too. This is a great Year 1 story without it being an origin story. It's not campy, no cheesy dialogue. It's written very well. The art from Sam Nee works awesome. It's a really good time. This particular one features Robin's first time out with Batman. It's pretty good. Then we've got 2 OGNs and 2 of the webcomics that Rob had mentioned earlier. The first one is The Strange Case of Harley and Harleen. I mistakenly went into this thinking it was a YA book. It's not a YA book unless YA book translates to, if this was a movie, it would be rated PG-13. There is F-bomb in it. There is some swearing. There's some more mature themes. I think it was awesome, really. Like, it's an origin story for the development of the Harley side of Harleen Quinzel. Kind of explains where that other side of her comes from, as well as Poison Ivy. It was done so well, and the artwork's awesome for it, too. Like I said, I don't think it's a kid's book. Maybe late teens, mid-teens, but I wouldn't get it for your 8-year-old. It's awesome. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Next up, this is Our Land, a Blue Beetle story. A very rare score for me because of how absolutely this amazing book is. There's really not another word to describe it, honestly. It's relevant, has real meaning. It gives a a cool part of an origin story for Jaime. If you got a heart at all and some common sense, this book is going to hit you like a ton of freaking bricks. It's written so damn well. I couldn't peel my eyes off of it, and I might even go back and read it again. It's unbelievably good, and I could not recommend it anymore. As for that very rare score I mentioned, This Is Our Land, a Blue Beetle story, gets 9.5 out of 10.
Right on.
Yeah, that's my third one ever. Harley, Quinn, and Paradise #1, the first of the web comics that Rob had mentioned. I gave it a 7.75 out of 10. It is silly. It's a web comic about Harley shortly after breaking up with the Joker. She's pissed off a lot of criminals, and Poison Ivy warns her to hide. So her idea is to make everyone love her while staying safe is getting cast on a reality show looking for true love. Oh boy. It is Harley silly, and I think it's pretty good. It's fairly open to most ages. It should be something. Like I said, the art is good, and I like Harley's new look at the end of the issue. It's a pretty cool outfit, so 7.75 out of 10. And then finally, the last one that Rob had mentioned, Nothing But Nightwing #1. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It is an unusual webcomic about Nightwing going undercover as a model while dealing with being dumped by Babs. Not because he's boring, but for other reasons. And for a webcomic, this actually wasn't too bad. The creme de la creme is Wayne Family Adventures as far as DC Comics is concerned. This was not that, but I have seen far worse. It was enjoyable for what it was, but, and I mean this with an exclamation point, if an issue, any issue, is centered around Dick Grayson's butt, only Nicholas Scott should be asked to draw it. It wasn't that bad,
Yeah.
but it wasn't Scott-ass. And those are all the honorables worth mentioning. I suppose now, after that long-ass ramble, we should take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Eat me, Russell. I am not a boomer. I'm old as dirt, but I'm not that old.
Yeah.
I don't have command set up in Twitch. He seems a little disappointed in me.
You know, he can.
I'll let you come in and help, Russell. You
Yeah.
can set that shit up.
I don't think he's even here right now. He's got to make his craft dinner. Fucking weirdo. You're muted, by the way. You didn't unmute yourself.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Very, very much a weirdo. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a second here.
All right. So now we're going to get into our weekly comics.
Sounds good.
Right?
Shall I kick us
Starting
off?
I just realized I almost, completely by accident, put this week's books in alphabetical order.
I did not realize that at all.
Just fucking realized. If I had Wonder Woman and Nightwing swapped, it would have been alphabetical order.
That's hilarious.
I wasn't even trying. That's actually really funny. Yeah, so
Everything in order,
exactly.
as it should be.
That's it.
All right.
I'm tempted to swap the two, but I didn't want to end the show on a bad note. Yeah.
Now, that's assuming you know what I'm going to say.
I know what I'm gonna say, and I don't want to end the show on a bad note.
Fair enough. All right, Action Comics number 1071. I'm going to take this real quick since I've already mentioned Dark Knights of Steel. Action Comics number 1071 was obtained at my local comic shop because Bezos and Cucks, Bezos or Amazon has decided that Action Comics and Dark Knights of Steel Allwinter number 4 are going to be delayed a week online and online only. So, fucking dumb. But here ye are. For those who weren't able to get it, let me tell you all about it. Written by Mark Waid, art by Clayton Henry and Michael Shelfer, with colors from Matt Herms and lettering by Dave Sharp. The cover is from Henry and Tomu Mori. The main story, there's two. This is Phantoms Part 2. So real quick, Kong Kanan and Superboy are playing a game of space baseball before having an alarm go off at the Fortress of Solitude that has apparently been rebuilt already. They get there and are shocked by what they see. We don't get to know what that is, though. But while all of that is going on, Clark is in the Phantom Zone. Crossing over, he immediately loses his powers, as expected. But this time, he's got a scientist friend that we know by the name of Bruce Gordon. We also see him later on. He happens to be the person that is most often possessed by Eclipso. Anyway, Bruce Gordon creates a limited solar battery backup in the form of a bracelet that can give Superman a short amount of power. He immediately finds trouble from a few people sent to capture him, but when he makes quick work of them, he then gets caught up fighting giant spiders trying to save the people that were trying to capture him. Conserving his powers and dealing with some blindness from the venom of one of the spiders, Superman gets wrapped up in a web. That's when he sees the Velkan. For those who know, that is the ship piloted by the Phantom King. And the Phantom King is somebody that Clark has a problem beating when he's at full strength. He definitely is not right now. He pulled up aboard the ship. He is pulled up aboard the ship, and it's revealed that the Phantom King, or at least this one, is none other than Mon-El. And that's the end of part 2 of Phantoms. Well, my biggest question is Mon-El good or bad? Secondly, what's up in the fortress? Those are my two big carries away, and I need to know where they are. The art looks great. The colors are just as good. And it is still carrying, even with the more serious tone in the book, it is carrying that classic comic strip feel as I'm reading it. I'm really digging it, man. I gave it an 8.25 out of 10. What did you think about the main story in this issue, Rob?
I really liked it. It was... there was something about it just didn't sit with me, and I can't quite figure out what it was, if it was like the weird pacing or what. I felt like, as much as I liked the whole baseball bit, I did feel like it took too long. It took up too many pages.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, like they could have summed that up in like 1 or 2, but I think it had like 4 or 5 pages of just Khan and Kong playing baseball. And like, it was cool, but I'm here for the Phantom Zone.
Right. And Kanan just sitting there talking mad shit to Superboy.
Yeah.
Justifiably, by the way.
Fuck, it's not even just Kong. It was the announcers, too. Like, this guy's swinging at everything.
Yeah, right? I say throw it to the outfield.
He'll swing at that. Being a baseball fan, I was having a fucking delight reading it, but I still feel like it went on too long.
Like a baseball game.
I was gonna ask you, and I now remembered you don't like baseball. And that makes you fucking weird. I was gonna ask you, whose voice did you hear for the announcers? But that won't matter to you. Because I heard
every single time I read a sports announcer, I hear Bob Costa. It doesn't matter what the sport is. Yep, every single time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember the guy's name now, but there's an announcer for the Blue Jays that has got like an iconic voice, and I always hear that. Yeah, it was a blast listening to this Blue Jays announcer say that.
Oh wait.
Connor Kent is swinging at stuff in the outfield.
Oh, damn it. What is his name? The dude you're talking about. He's super old, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And he just started doing hot dog commercials, too. I can't remember what the hell his name is.
I want to
But
say
anyway.
it's Bob something, but yeah, I can't remember either, and it's bugging me that I don't remember. But yeah, that it was a fun little side track, but it took too long. I feel like they could have done a bit more of a reveal. I'm thinking whatever they saw has to do with what's going on in the Phantom Zone. Obviously, I'm thinking maybe the Phantom King is there, but it also might just be nothing. Who fucking knows? The point is, it didn't. That part of the story didn't attract me enough to really give a shit yet. Because they're playing baseball for 5 pages, and then, oh my god, there's a silent alarm at the fortress. What's going on? Did somebody break in? And they get there, you, and then we don't see it. Like, come on, that was a little not enough. The stuff inside the Phantom Zone was interesting. The twist at Mon-El at the end was good, and it made me want to like deep dive into like the timeline of Mon-El because I don't really know it. I know when he was Daxamite and he was suffering from lead poisoning, and the only way to stop it from killing him was send him in the Phantom Zone until they can find out a way to cure it. And then at some point, he ended up in the 31st century and palled around in the Legion. I know that, but I don't know the timeline of all that.
I think the future, him being in the Legion came before him being sent in the Phantom Zone.
Okay, so
if I remember
he's
correctly.
from the 30th century.
Perhaps.
Or 31st century. And then somehow he ended up back in time.
Right.
And got lead poisoning.
Yeah, from,
And then,
was it Lex?
Must have been.
Someone
Someone
dosed
dastardly
everything
evil.
with lead.
And then, was this recent?
Not too long ago.
Or was that during World of Krypton?
Could be World of Krypton.
Like pre-New 52?
Hold on one second.
Yeah, I don't fucking remember now. But besides the point, I'm interested in it. I like it. It's a good story so far. I just wanted to figure out what the fuck's going on with Khan and Kong.
Well, you look up when did Mon-El get lead poisoning. You get a wiki for Mon-El and then a whole bunch of information about lead poisoning. So
Yeah.
Brandon will
later.
have to be tapped for that one. He knows.
Yeah. I was just thinking I wish Brandon was here because he'd tell us right away.
Right?
All right, so
I'd ask Glenn, but he doesn't listen live. He listens on Fridays.
post,
So.
yeah. Yeah,
right,
that's what I go for the backup now.
All right, well, then the backup is Judgment Part 1, written by Mariko Tamaki, art by Skylar Patridge with Marisa Louise colors, and lettering from Becca Carey. So, Supergirl has been sent to the Satellite High Court of Thanagar, who was just not having a great week this week, let me tell you. So basically, the Satellite High Court of Thanagar is a spaceport that is only a court. She was sent there by Clark to escort prisoner 8912 to trial. When informing the judge of the court of that, the judge replies that the prisoner has already been tried and convicted, and by them, and that Supergirl's mission is to escort the prisoner in the company of the judge to the prisoner's final prison. As they are about to leave, an intruder alarm goes off, and we see a spider lady who is there to steal away the prisoner themselves, no matter who has to die. The spider queen or lady or whatever has super speed too, and speeds right into the judge and pushes them down the corridor after messing them up some. Couple stabs, some hardcore punches. And as Supergirl is running to them, the spider lady really starts messing up the judge and then poofs and disappears with the judge and the prison access card. Supergirl asks out loud, "How do I find the prisoner or the judge now?" And a floating diaper genie with 3 arms asks if it may assist. Tell me that's not what it looks like. It looks like a floating diaper genie.
I mean, now that you mention it, I gotta go back and look. And then I gotta show my wife.
So, I mean, it's not purple, it's silver, but still. So, seriously curious what all of this is about, who the Spider Lady is, why Thanagar is keeping the name of the prisoner secret, as well as the crime that they've committed. Patridge's art with Luis's colors make this super easy to look at, pardon the pun, and Tamaki has me itching for the next chapter. Altogether, backup and main story, Action Comics 1071 gets an 8.25 out of 10 from me.
Right on. I also liked it. I don't have much to say about it because I don't know what I could say about it apart from the Spider Lady. I want to say was Spider Guild, but I don't really freaking know. There's too much to answer still, too many questions to answer to really figure out what's going on with the story and really give it a proper feel, right? I just know that what I've seen so far is interesting. I like it.
Forgot to turn the cover on.
This still feels like page 5 of a 20-page story, right? So
it does feel like it's pretty deep.
The story's barely gotten started, so I feel like I can't even really score it. The art was nice. We'll have to see. I just hope like there's a decent payoff as to why they're keeping this prisoner such a secret and Supergirl's mission such a secret. And I hope Mariko Tamaki doesn't fumble the drop off, you know?
I do too.
We'll see.
I do too. I've both loved her and been pissed at her. So
yeah, that's the thing. that's really the thing. It's hard to really know one way or the other which way it's going to go. For now, though, Action Comics is getting an 8.
Fair enough. Well, from Superman to Superman, you want to take it away?
I'll take it all the way to Batman because they're going to be in the world's finest. This is Batman Superman World's Finest number 32, written by Mark Waid, with art from Adrian Gutierrez, colors from Tamara Bonvillain, and letters from Steve Wands, as well as a cover when Josh pulls it up from Dan Mora. There it is. I like this cover. It's quite cool. It's full of action and also reminiscent of the actual issue. You're muted.
Damn it. Yes, it is. Like, thank you for making covers relevant again.
Yes.
Not just pretty.
Just thank you to Dan Mora. Just thank you, Dan Mora, in general, for everything you do.
Yeah, for like all your Danning and Mora.
Yes. I will take Mora of Dan. That did not deserve. I did not deserve that. So bad.
Definitely did. It
I'll give kudos to Dan Mora though. Every artist in existence has always had some criticism laid out against them. I have yet to see any criticism for Dan Mora.
That's because you'd have to be on drugs. And I mean, like, not even like hard drugs. I mean, like, bad hard drugs.
Yeah.
Like, there's heroin and then there's the bad heroin. Yeah, you'd have to be on the bad heroin to dislike Dan Mora.
Yeah. All right, so as for the interior of the issue, because Dan Mora only did the exterior, Eclipso has won. He's beaten the Justice League, and he's crash landed on Earth, capturing most of the Justice League inside a moon shadow prism. I forget what that thing's called. His little stone that he's housed in. But that thing...
It's just the Eclipso's... the Black Diamond.
Black Diamond, that's it. It was some kind of gem. And he's captured the Justice League in there, except for Batman and Superman, who he has chosen to be his lackeys for the issue. And with these two, he is going to take over the world. Their first stop is the Batcave, where they run into Robin, they just kind of shoo him away and don't think much of him. So Robin hides in the shadows using infrared goggles or night vision goggles, whatever they are. They're still Robin style regardless, to see what they're doing. Batman activates the Bat computer and finds some kind of information. Then Superman flies off through the roof and goes to do whatever it is he's about to do. Robin, meanwhile, heads out into the world to find heavy hitters and transportation. Meanwhile, in Solar City, Eclipso and Superman have arrived to find Bruce Gordon. We just saw him in Action Comics, where he is also being controlled by Eclipso again. But instead of being called Bruce Gordon, Eclipso is going to call him Limos, Prince of Light, where he's going to have his own kind of light-based powers. Excuse me. The Justice Society, after having that brief interaction with Red Tornado at the end of last issue, have looked into what's gone on with the Justice League. The satellite has been destroyed, and Dr. Fate has found that there's a giant version of Eclipso's Black Diamond in the Sahara Desert. And it seems that the Justice League is trapped inside. So that is when Robin arrives and reveals that Batman and Superman are puppets of Eclipso, and Superman is, with the help of Batman, hacking into Earth's telecommunications satellites for whatever reason. And then the Justice Society quickly pieces together the plan that's going to send the world into turmoil between GPS and communications and all sorts of stuff. It just caused chaos across the planet. So then they quickly split up into two teams, one for Batman, one for Superman, and Green Lantern heads out to free the League from the Black Diamond. Meanwhile, in Gotham City, the bat signal is being lit up, and then Batman arrives, but of course he is taken by Eclipso, so he takes out the bat signal, and then the one team of Hawkman, Sandman, and the Spectre go to make work of Batman. And they're able to do that by the Spectre, realizing Eclipso is too powerful, decides to go a little too rough. Summons Robin and then promptly snaps his neck right in front of Batman, which allows just enough rage and grief to come out of Bruce Wayne's soul and overtake Eclipso. However, this was all a ruse and just an illusion. Robin is perfectly fine. And as Batman does thank him, he says, never do it again. So Batman is now free. Superman, meanwhile, is up in space and is met by Dr. Fate and Jay Garrick. Why those two, you wonder? Well, I don't fucking know. I didn't think either of them could breathe in space, but here we are. Dr. Fate has a plan, and while Superman is vulnerable to magic, with Eclipso on his side, it's a little less so. So his plan is to have Jay run as fast as he can on what I assume is some magically conjured road, because there's no fucking friction in space. Well, not that, you know what I mean. How the hell is he running in space? But still, so he proceeds to run and runs directly towards the sun in a way. And just Superman is just about to catch Jay. Dr. Fate yells at him to turn on a dime and then blasts Superman using his own momentum, heading directly towards the sun. And with the bright light coming from the sun, it will burn away the Eclipso shadows, and that is freeing Superman, which it does. Mission accomplished. Alan Scott, meanwhile, is helping the Justice League. He gets in contact with Hal, and they fire concentrated beams at the same point to see if that will break the diamond, because every other attempt has failed. However, the diamond is now trying to capture Alan as well, and that's when the Justice League realizes the reason they were captured and not killed was to use them as bait to get other heroes free. Green Arrow then starts yelling at Hal about how he's so weak and he's not a quitter, or how he's a quitter and he's going to let Eclipso win, and that gave Hal the boost of willpower he needs to break through the barrier, freeing the Justice League. And now back at Solar City, the Justice League and the Justice Society have come together again alongside Batman and Superman. to take down Eclipso once and for all. But with the combined powers of Eclipso and Lumos, they turn the entire group of heroes into Diamond, and that leaves Eclipso just kind of laughing as there's more to happen. That's the end of the issue. I'm really liking it. The art was good, but I still would have preferred if Dan Mora was still doing this book. I would have loved to see Dan Mora do all of these characters. That would have been freaking amazing. But I do like Adrian Gutierrez. The story is quite interesting. I love having the Justice Society pop up. That's been my favorite part of this book. It's called Batman Superman World's Finest, but it's basically a Batman Superman team up book with the rest of the DC universe. It's that dynamic duo teaming up with everybody else, and I like that.
It should just be called World's Finest. Let's be
honest. That's all I basically call it, is World's Finest. Batman Superman is kind of a formality. They're the key players that are always in the book, and then everybody else is,
unless it's on Earth 2.
I mean, this book. Yeah. Unless it's a date issue. We all know how you feel about that. But this issue is fantastic. I really like it. The Justice Society from Dan Mora was really cool. And albeit a bit of a younger version of the Justice Society, this does take place in the past, but still a little younger than I thought they'd be. Jay had a full head of brown hair. Not a hint of gray. I'm pretty sure at this point in the Silver Age he had a bit of gray coming through, but that's besides the point. He had brown hair or blonde hair? Pretty sure he had brown hair, right?
Brown hair, I think. Yeah,
I thought it was brown hair. But yeah, no, I liked it. It's an interesting story. Eclipso is, in my opinion, a formidable villain that does not get the rep he deserves sometimes. And sometimes,
100% agree.
Yeah, sometimes he just kind of like shows up as a bit of a B villain or a joke. And that's it. And like, this guy is seriously fucking powerful. I'll give
on par with the Spectre.
Yeah, Jeremy Adams with the Flash, that one issue with Eclipso. Like, wait, was it? Oh no, okay, I'm getting confused. Yeah, no, he was in there for an issue and then came back and was a little bit bigger. Okay, so Jeremy Adams didn't do it too bad, but like, I get that to a certain degree, that like every so often have like a one-off, like, okay, the hero outsmarted me kind of deal, but for the most part, Eclipso should be like serious level villainry. Like you said, on par with the Spectre, this guy should be able to take on a good number of heroes at the same time.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
You're right. He's been underplayed for a long, long time. It's good to see him not written that way anymore.
Yeah.
Or at least this time.
For now. Yeah. I'm going to give this issue 8.75. Nah, fuck it, 9.
Ooh.
Giving it
that's
a 9.
Pretty high.
I liked it.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was an interesting story idea too. I hope it plays out well. It was a very fun read. It's not as amazing as the first issue of this arc, but this part 2 does come pretty close. I had a good time with it. Both art and story are good, like I said. And I do really need to know more about this new Lumos aspect of the Eclipso story. So, you know what? I'll give it a 7.75 out of 10.
Right on.
Agreed?
Fair enough.
Agreed.
So yeah, one character has never shown up in World's Finest, and I'm curious if she ever will. It's Catwoman.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Perhaps she will not.
Perhaps not.
But perhaps she'll show up right now? No. Yes, Catwoman. I couldn't keep track of where the fuck I was at. All right, hold on. Trying to do too many things at once. I blew Rob's excellent transition. Let's kick this off with Catwoman number 69, written by Torrin Grombeck, art from Fabiana Mascolo, with covers from Patricio Del Pesce, letters from Steve Wan, and a cover from Siba Fiumara. Selena is under surveillance, wanted for questioning in connection with a fatal shooting at a money mixer in Gotham that she had attended. She's wanted by other people too, people who want her dead, like really dead, because they're using facial recognition to scan all airports, etc., looking for her all across the globe. Evie Hall in Berlin, meanwhile, has been reported murdered. The problem with that is that Evie Hall is one of Selena's fake identities, so not dead. After someone tries to kill her in her apartment, she ditches the tales and makes her way to Berlin to investigate. It turns out that many members of her former team, while she was using the Evie identity, has been killed. She's been able to stay off the grid the entire time until she arrived in Berlin. She's caught on camera. That's the issue. Now, where's the next one? I like the dialogue being used here, even if most of it was caption boxes from Selena's perspective. It's a good, solid voice for Selena. And a good, solid costume, too. I do dig the new look. The art here from Scolo and the colors from Del Pesce are wonderful. The Scolo hits all the right notes, all the right points, and Del Pesce, just wow. Let me just add here that I have never in my life seen a sheer dress drawn so perfectly in comic books. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Now, while I'm one of the, I guess, 6 comic fans that really liked Teenie Howard, this new team definitely knows what they are doing. I can't wait to see more. It was a good build-up. It felt very natural, and it did not feel like I was just jumping into a brand new team and a brand new arc. This just felt smooth. Gets a very easy 8.5 out of 10 from me. I really got to listen to my notes when I say change the cover. It's in giant letters, too.
Yeah, it was. I was very curious as to how this was going to go, and I think it went quite well. Had almost a bit of like a mystery to it, right?
Yeah,
It was almost
noir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I think is an aspect of Catwoman we haven't really seen much in recent years, right? So
I don't think it's had a noir type feeling since Ram V started writing it.
yeah.
Like when he kicked off, it felt kind of detective-y, mystery-ish, and then, other things happened. But yeah, you're right. We don't often get to see a Selena like this.
Yeah. So I'm all for it. It's an interesting side. Like we said, it's very noir-esque. I like the new suit. I'm curious how the whip attaches to the back, but that's a question I can live without answered. It's just a silly little nitpick. But I liked it. Like the art was quite good. The mystery's there. It feels like a completely new, fresh take in a new direction and everything. So it's not really going to address much from the past, which I think is a shame. I get why some writers will do that, but if you're continuing numbering, I do prefer if a writer at least acknowledges some of the history and maybe works in some of the characters that showed up. I always prefer when that happens. I'm not saying you have to follow suit with what the previous writer did, but at least acknowledge that it happened. Right? Like, I don't remember what was the end all of Duchess.
That's just where it ended, was seeing Duchess like that and then wondering. And then not a direct reference, but she did like open this up sitting in her room being injured, and also saying to Duchess, "You will find me anywhere, won't you?" or something along that effect, perhaps alluding to some kind of mystical connection, but no, nothing outright or nothing without looking for it.
Yeah. So that definitely felt like, as long as Duchess wasn't like just a figment of her imagination or some shit, like
No.
to like open this series, this new story arc up with, okay, Selena's alone, she's hiding, she's in the wind and she has to leave her place behind, and this whole concept of having very little. And Selena was always like that still, but what happened to Daria? What happened to Aiko? What happened to Duchess? Like, at least acknowledge those characters existed and had like a strong purpose in the previous series, right?
Yeah, because as far as we know, Tomcat is still working with Eco. Eco is still operating as Catwoman, but like Rob said, we've got nothing to confirm nor deny any of that. Hopefully that'll change and there will be some sort of tip of the hat, because I'm with you. And now, I am never, and I mean never, okay with a new #1 issue. Under no circumstances is it ever all right. Period. However,
unless
you do need to continue, unless it's a brand new book, right? But it does need to be acknowledged. I can't stand when people. Okay, so undoing things, retconning things almost immediately, or ignoring things, that kind of shit gets on my fucking nerves. Not paying attention to something like where's Eco at right now, or Tomcat, that doesn't quite bother me as much as it would have if there would have been something in this book that made it sound as if that never happened.
Yeah.
I would have been irate.
Yeah. Like, Aiko is one thing that she's off doing her own thing with her own suit and whatnot. Plan. Yeah, but Tomcat, as far as I remember, at the end was still living with Selena, and so was Duchess.
Mm-hmm. Duchess was in her apartment in this.
Yeah, and in this now she all of a sudden has a new cat. That's the kind of thing. It would have been. It would have cost.
No, that's not a new cat. That was Duchess.
That was not Duchess.
You saw Duchess drawn sparkly one time at the end of that mystical issue.
No. First off, this was a black cat. Duchess had some white fur. It was also a fluffier cat. This was a tabby. It was a different kind of cat. That was a different.
Not a tabby.
That was a different fucking cat. I will die on this hill. That was definitely that. This is a pure black cat. That is not Duchess.
Let me see.
The fur is different.
Oh, damn it. I can't pull it up.
Duchess had white. Duchess had white fur and was a fluffier coat.
The very last page of the very last page of that where we saw Duchess of Howard's Run, she was black with like sparkly shit in her fur.
On the back, on her back, she has it, right? But there's Duchess again. I don't know how well it's cut across, but all white.
I mean, it's not. It's a phone, so all I see is white. But
yeah, on the back of Duchess, it's black with some sparkly stuff on it. Right? It's a two-toned cat. This cat is an all-black tabby.
Maybe she got her hair did. Who knows?
I don't know. It looks more like Luna from Sailor Moon.
That's funny that it looks like Luna Holly's cat that passed away a couple of years ago, who was named after Sailor Moon.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Damn, Angela would have loved that cat. She loves Sailor Moon.
Yep, looked exactly neon green eyes, like yellow green. Yeah, it was insane. But yeah, that's Catwoman, man. So far, I'm into it. Sounds like you are too.
I am. I dig it. I'm going to give it an 8.75.
An 8.75. That is a very fair score, Rob. So, I think I remember Duchess being mostly black. You remember Duchess having a lot of white.
It's
And
not that I just
maybe
remember.
it's
I just
just a
fucking saw it.
trick of the light.
You're a trick of the light. Green light.
I wish.
Depends what green light you're talking. Are you talking about sandwiches again?
No.
No, okay.
Talking about Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, yeah. Me too. Yeah. All right, so
Jesus.
Green Lantern number 16, part of All In. Legacy number. I think this is the first issue we've had this week with legacy numbering number 583. Which I need someone to check the work on that because some people on Reddit looked into it. I counted it, and we couldn't figure out how the fuck they got to 583 because we all got somewhere in the 560s, and we don't know how.
Oh, your guess is as good as mine on that one, but
Yeah, if anybody has the numbering and knows how the fuck they got to 583, please do tell.
you just got to ask Jeremy Adams when he gets back on here.
Hell yeah, if
He'll be
knows.
able to tell us.
I hope so. All right, so this is Civil Corps Part 1, World War. The Civil Corps special last week, we could call it Prelude.
Right.
This is written by Jeremy Adams with art and cover from Zermanico, which is currently in my phone background, and I fucking love it. Colors from Romulo Fajardo Jr. and letters from Dave Sharp. So we open up where we left off in the end of the special. Mogo has attacked Thanagar, and not just attacked, he's blown it the fuck up. Thanagar is gone, and that's page 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thanagar is just straight up destroyed. There's Thanagarians floating in space, and a lone spaceship is hurtling its way far, far away as fast as it can from the destruction. On board is a number of Ranians, as this is a Ranian battle cruiser, as well as various Thanagarians, Hal, Carol, and John, as they ask how many they were able to save, as Hal reveals maybe 1,000 if we're lucky, which that's seriously fucked.
Yeah, there's got to be at least a
fucked.
billion people on a planet of Thanagar.
Yeah, how many billions? You know, like that's just crazy. 2 species at that, 2 fucking species. Yeah, so it's just gone. They are trying to get away, but the ship is damaged. So Hal and John go and do what they do best and go and buy them some time, head out into space and try and fight off whatever incursions might be happening with the United Planets Lanterns. Hal asks Carol to do what she can to fix the ship, as a ship is a ship and no one knows more about them than Miss Ferris Air. So she's going to go ahead and do what she can to help the ship. Meanwhile, on the Durlan flagship Hipmota, the various Durlans that were at the Thanagarian Parliament, I guess, are going over what their next steps may be after the effect of Theros' power, rather, and what's going on with Mogo. And they figure that with all this destruction, they can turn and use it to their advantage, and with the help of Varen, they are going to turn it around, and with Mogo going around just destroying planets on a whim, and news of Thanagar being wiped out by a rogue Red Lantern, everyone's going to fly towards the Green Lantern Corps for help, and that's going to give them the edge they need, especially with the abilities that Theros was able to discern from none other than excuse me, Kelly Quintella. As it's now revealed, thank you, Jeremy Adams, for giving us some kind of fucking answer from Kelly. Theros' control over the emotional spectrum is derived from Kelly, and apparently she has the ability to control the emotional spectrum, not just Green, and it has very little to do with the mysterious gauntlet, and instead, potentially, an ability she has built into herself. Meanwhile, in a dream space, while Kelly is there, while the various Durlans are speaking amongst themselves, Kelly, in her mind, overhears a voice, and that voice is none other than Ellie, who could hear her from so many light years away in pain, and Ellie has come to help get Kelly out of there. So that was cool. Kelly being Jon Stewart's younger sister, so I imagine the construct version of Ellie, if you're behind on what the fuck is going on. Meanwhile, a Green Lantern has entered the Durlan stronghold, or the Durlan, like, bridge, whatever, and is mentioning that 2 Green Lanterns are attacking, but it's not our Green Lanterns, it's these 2, Hal and John. And being Hal and John, being such veterans, are making quick work of the United Planets Lanterns. They have all taken on pretty much any color you could think of at this point, but they are no match for Hal and John as a duo who get to work together and not even need to speak about what their plan is because they've done it so many fucking times. However, Star Shroud, aka Varen, has shown up and has latched himself onto John and is whipping him around because he's got a chain. Hal is then hoping that Carol's making quick work of what she needs to do. Ranian has shown her to the propulsion unit, or the engine, and while she doesn't really understand what the fuck anything is going on, she does just use her ring and then figures out what she has to do, and then says, "Tell your captain to get ready to go," activates her power. The power levels on the ship spike, and the ship takes off, heading for basically parts unknown. Hal and John, meanwhile, try to figure out what their next steps are, and then figure, okay, let's go to Oa. Since the blast from the Violet Light took out Star Shroud, they have nothing but various United Planet Lanterns attacking them, but again, no match for Hal and John together. They contract a couple of big rig trucks and zoom straight out of there. Star Shroud then appears at the to the Durlan delegates, kills one as one begins to challenge him, and then the Star Shroud demands that they chart a course for Oa because he wants revenge. He doesn't want anything else now. Meanwhile, in the Oa Science Cell Detention Center, Larfleeze is still holding back the United Planets forces, leaving Guy and a Shepherd to free all the lanterns they need. This includes Joe Moline, Simon Badge, and who I can only assume, from what it looks like, is Saint Walker. But this Saint Walker is in a Green Lantern uniform, which I found kind of weird. I don't remember that happening. I thought he was just depowered, but whatever. That's who they've saved, at least for now, and they head out to regroup in a hiding spot somewhere, a rebellion fallback site, Joe calls it. Meanwhile, the Ranian battle cruiser is heading through luminary space, but the navigator has no clue where they are, as the readings don't make any sense. And this is when Carol kind of passes out a little bit, and she's very tired. And then the captain asks the engineering officer to bring Carol up to the bridge right away because she needs to see what's in front of them, and what's in front of them is none other than the love entity Predator. You're muted.
That's not Predator. That's a goddamn xenomorph from Alien.
I know. I was gonna say it looks like a fucking xenomorph as well. It's the Alien Queen, but it's very much Predator. Blew my fucking mind, and also reminded me, what was Jeff Johns thinking, making the love entity a creature called Predator? I get that was. It was him again tying back to like Bronze Age villains, but damn, dude.
Right, and then calling it Predator and making it look like aliens.
Yeah.
When there's been like what 2-3 Aliens versus Predator movies, I just find that a little joyful.
Yeah. He was cooking something. We just don't fucking know. Nope. It was all, he knew what he was doing. I don't know. But yeah, so Predator is back, which begs the question, what other entities are back? Where
Yeah.
are they? Are they maybe behind the source wall? What's going on here? You know, there's that
It's
was
like,
that was
now
a little
what?
reveal
That's
that
my
was
question.
really fucking cool. Parallax should be out in the world, in the universe somewhere, and let's face
That's
it,
frightening.
if they ever follow up on the rage seed spinning out of Green Lanterns, then there was another butcher growing inside the Earth. So, by all means, okay, Predator's back. That now begs the question: is this what's going on with Kyle? Are the entities back, and Kyle is now feeling their presence?
See, now I didn't click that whatsoever. The only thing that I'm clicking is that Kyle's got such a unique connection to the spectrum
Yeah.
that I just naturally assume something like that is because of his connection to it. But I mean, honestly, Jeremy Adams and you know, and PKJ have changed Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And in no way is it in a bad way at all.
No.
It's bombastic. A matter of fact, you finish before I go.
Just on that note, like, I'm seeing a lot of people online saying that Jeremy Adams is trying too hard to be Jeff Johns and be the next Jeff Johns, and it's a little too wild, and I don't like this. It's not what I wanted. Like, what the fuck did you want? I don't. What are you saying?
A little too wild. It's not what I wanted.
What did you want? Simple?
I mean, this isn't hard to follow.
This isn't complicated. This isn't wild and crazy. This is
at all
badass.
Agreed. I mean, I guess if this is the kind of Green Lantern story that you don't enjoy, then go back and read Morrison's.
Oh, they also didn't like Morrison's.
Well, that's their fucking fault.
Which
I do not see the parallel
Green
here.
Lantern fans did not like Morrison's run.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
Again, their fault. However, I don't see Jeremy Adams trying to evoke anybody. I see Jeremy Adams being a comics fan. I've seen Jeremy Adams being a comics fan since I started reading his work. He always does research. He does like to pull things from the past if it fits. And it just happens to fit all over the fucking place in the Green Lantern Corps. And let's be honest. I love Green Lanterns. Not as much as that guy. Where's my finger? Not as much as that guy. There we go. That guy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look at the shirt I'm wearing.
there you go.
Yeah.
But I haven't enjoyed a Green Lantern book this long or this much, and I couldn't even tell you how long. This is, matter of fact, I have not. And this is my favorite thing to happen to the Lanterns since Blackest Night and Brightest Day.
Yep.
100%.
I'll admit Brightest Day from that, but I agree.
I know you hate it.
I didn't hate it. It's just it was not a great follow up. It was a bit of a letdown, but it was an interesting.
Of course,
story.
I went out and read every single tie-in as it came out and all of that. I was just.
Yeah. You had Blackest Night and then you had Brightest Day.
I feel like they were a little closer.
I
Blackest
don't
Night
know.
is one of the greatest comic book events of all time.
I'm not even saying this, and I've said it before. I'm not even saying this as a Green Lantern fan. It might be the best comic event of all time. It arguably is the best, and it's not even a hard argument.
I mean, it depends. It depends on whether or not you're counting crises or not. So.
Yeah, but I don't even
Then
think
you
a
go
lot of the
into-
crises even stand up to it. That's the thing.
Oh, COIE is.
Yeah, COIE
damn
is
hard
up
to beat.
there. Secret Wars is up there. Secret War is up there. But
Forever Evil. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
what the fuck?
You're like, wait, what? Not you.
I like Forever Evil, and I wouldn't even say that. Yeah. But again, that's the past. It definitely feels like like Jeremy Adams might be gearing up to something Blackest Night level or Blackest Night-esque, not like Black Lanterns rising from the ground, but like something huge, something massive spinning out of Green Lantern and kind of changing the status quo forever, or at least maybe bringing it back to what it was, because the status quo has changed quite a lot in the past 10 years since Jeff Johns left the book. Every writer has changed the status quo slightly to where it is right now. There are no Guardians. There's barely an Oa. The United Planets runs the core, and the emotional spectrum is in shambles. And that's all happened since Jeff Johns left. Jeremy Adams might be getting it back to basics. Right? He might actually be fixing a lot of the problems that a lot of Lantern fans don't like.
Here's the thing, though. What counts as basic for a Green Lantern?
Getting back to, okay, we're here patrolling the universe. We're saving people. We're not dealing with infighting. We're not dealing with people trying to take over the core. We're not dealing with spies in the organization. We're not lost in the wind without any leadership. We're back to, okay, there's trouble in this sector. You two go handle it. Gotcha, boss. Like, let's get back to those basics. I feel like he's slowly getting us back to that.
That would be boring as fuck.
It would not be.
It would be so fucking boring.
Some of the greatest stories in Green Lantern came out of that. Green Lantern Corps from Tomasi was mostly that.
Yeah, when did that come out, Rob?
Oh, well, the Tomasi had a good 10-year run from 2006 up until 2016.
Right. So almost
wasn't that
10
long
years
ago.
Almost 10 years ago.
That long ago.
Almost 10 years.
Hang on. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps was much the same. Once they got back into the Green Lantern Corps being reinstated, and they had that whole thing with the Yellow Lanterns, it was also that, you got trouble over here, go do that. That's been a Green Lantern thing for decades. It's not necessarily been boring. It's been fun. It's been exciting. Not every story needs to be universe shaking. That's the thing.
No, it doesn't, but it does need to have something. And buddy cop quick adventures don't quite capture the dynamics of these characters anymore. Now,
I think we need to
does that mean we should never see that kind of thing going on? Absolutely not. But we have an exploded Green Lantern roster that's just Earth-based, that obviously needs something to fucking do. Yeah. The new battery is on Earth. Oa is absolute shit. Saint Walker may be a Green Lantern for some reason. Things are different. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We do not need to stay in the past and watch John and Hal, or whoever his pal might be, fly off and fight somebody for 3 issues just to come back and have... I mean, I'm not saying it should never happen, but it's just not the same place anymore.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like there's not going to be some changes still. Like you said, St. Walker is potentially a Green Lantern now. That could stay in place. There's not going to be an Oa going forward. There's not going to be a central precinct for the Green Lantern Corps apart from Earth. And that remains to be seen if that's even going to be a core anymore, because there's still a lot of mystery left in that little portion of the story. There was still, as far as we know, only 7 rings seen. So if there's even going to be much of a Green Lantern Corps after this, even remains to be seen, which will be fucking wild. Yeah. But think about
new and
even
different doesn't mean bad.
Kyle Rayner. When he was the only Green Lantern, he had to go out into the universe and save people too. And there was some brilliant fucking stories came out of that, where he was going across the galaxy and like helping various planets. And he was the only one. And if we get a status where now there's 7 of them, 7 Earthlings have to go out and help the entire fucking universe, that'd be wild.
There's got to be more that's going to be coming.
Yeah.
It'll be different, and I'm definitely not saying get away from the foundation of the characters, because that would be stupid. But things have just changed so much that I just going back to a fully fleshed out Green Lantern Corps, having all of the cores return to normal, none of that, I can't see any of that coming. And again, it's like resetting everything back to, it would be like Joshua Williamson writing this shit. Like have all of this stuff happen over the course of 10 years just to have it all go back to normal.
I mean, status quo always comes back eventually. Excuse me. That's
But
comic
it doesn't have to.
So, check this out. A potential status quo going forward. You got the 7 Earth Lanterns. You have Carol.
Mm-hmm.
You have Jade Stone as the quote-unquote guardian. You have
Right.
Alan Scott.
Right.
You have Larfleeze.
Mm-hmm. You got Alan Scott with new powers.
Yes. What I mean, yes, new to us, but like technically he's been using them since the 40s. So
Shifting through the fourth dimension?
I mean, yeah, that whole thing happened in Alan Scott the Green Lantern, which was that book took place in the 40s.
He just no. That's
That's where he learned it. Right? Because of the Red Lantern. Maybe he's recently figured out how to do it, but that whole concept was apparently a thing all these years. That's a retcon in a way. Yeah. I mean, it even says when he does that and he shifts through the fourth dimension and shows up in the Citadel, it even has that text box says, for more on this, read Alan Scott the Green Lantern. Like, oh, son of a bitch. Okay.
Okay.
And so you got Larfleeze, you have Saint Walker, maybe as a green.
Wouldn't it be something if Larfleeze became a Green Lantern?
Fucking wild.
Don't run with that, please, Jeremy.
No, we need Larfleeze as orange.
Excuse me.
And that's it.
It might just be that.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean it's bad?
No.
Exactly. Does that leave Tomar Ray working at McDonald's? Sure, but
Tomar is dead.
well, you come on now.
I know. So's Tomar too. Still makes me sad. Better idea. Jessica Cruz as a yellow. Please.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah. Kilowog.
I'm okay with that.
Kilowog as a blue.
Okay, I'm still listening.
And then Sinestro is still a red. And then Kyle's a white. But so John doesn't need a ring. Kyle's going to have a white ring. So we got Hal, Joe, Guy, Simon. Jessica's the yellow. So that's 4. And then St. Walker will have a ring. That's 5. That leaves us with 2 more rings. Who would the last 2 greens be?
Kelly?
I don't know that Kelly's even going to need a ring because if she has mastery over or like control over the emotional spectrum already, she doesn't even really need the ring. She might be a White Lantern for all we know. 2/6. I think we need to have 2/6 and potentially Selak. I say those 2 because they've already shown up in the series.
That's actually a pretty fair fucking guess.
Yeah.
I have to go in here and look real quick though.
The stuff with Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's what they were kind of hinting at.
No, see, it doesn't say that she doesn't need the technology.
No, but Theros was
gauntlet.
able.
It says he was poking around and tore her mind apart to find out how she had done it, but he was impatient, and then that was it. That's all it said. Yeah.
But that's the thing. If he was able to do it without technology,
see, the one thing that I can look at here and say, this is important, is that this is the first time that we have seen Kelly. If you flip the page, this is the first time that we've seen Kelly without her gauntlet on.
Yes.
Because before it was unable to be removed.
Exactly. And then one of the people also says, the Earth Girl, she was the key to his ability to control the emotional spectrum. Did you know this child found a way to wield the green energy without the help of the Guardians? As far as we know, she might be the only creature to have ever done so.
Right. But that still could be because of that gauntlet. We've got a lot more time to figure that one out. But that whole gauntlet thing, she didn't create it. She found it, put it on, couldn't get it off, and then had lantern powers.
Yeah.
Since that happened, I've always been very, very interested in where that could lead. And I'm glad Jeremy Adams has given it to us.
Yep.
Especially if it means we're getting a White Lantern. And Rob, like we were talking about it a while back, talking about the Green Lantern landscape being changed in major, major ways. And you, me, and Brandon were talking about what a new Lantern Corps going forward could look like. Talking about having just this, like, select people, like you had just mentioned, just coming in and joining the Corps. And, you know, I mean, all of them you said, all of them you say again?
Barry has no powers right now.
Yeah, Barry has no powers right now.
Yeah.
But I was with all of your different color choices. I don't get Kilowog for blue. But
I mean opposite of yellow, opposite of fear, on the actual spectrum. And spinning out of that, if the way I'm seeing it, and I'm kind of building the story in my mind, if the actual core has to die, and all that's left is the rings on Earth, if he chooses, I don't want to be a Green Lantern anymore, but then that seeing that the Green Lantern Corps will live on might fill him with hope. Right?
That would be something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine St. Walker calling people a poozer.
What's it called? Poozer?
That would be messed up.
Yeah.
What did you rate Green Lantern number?
I didn't even
16?
give a fucking score. 11.
11 out of 10.
No.
Canadian Public Schools has failed this young man.
That just means A++.
A++. Fair enough.
No, I
10 with an asterisk, like the Thunderbolts movie. It will never be explained.
Yeah, supposedly. No, I'm going to give it I'll say a 9.25. Not going to give it a perfect score, but it is pretty fucking good.
Hell yeah. Well, my first comment was, sweet baby Tom Cruise, the Predator is here. And then past that, it is such a bombastic turn of events for everything. Between the last issue and even more so in this one, I'm telling you, for me, for Lantern fans, I think it's a great time to be alive.
Oh, God, yeah.
Adams and PKJ together have been my favorite thing to happen to the Lantern since Blackest Night and Brightest Day, unequivocally. The art is gorgeous, as it always is from Zermanico. The story's fucking amazing. This is top shelf comics. This would be a $15 a shot if this was liquor. Period. Easy score all day long, 9 out of 10.
Right on. And I think you need to update that saying. If you're going to talk about Predator being back, you got to say, sweet baby Carl Weathers.
Sweet baby Carl Weathers. What was I thinking? I should have been saying that this whole time. Oh, man. I wonder. Ooh. Decided that this next book was a good idea.
I know, for something completely different.
Yeah, right. Wonder Woman number 14, written by Tom King, arts and colors inside and out by Daniel Sempere and Tomomori, and letters from Clayton Cowles. Okay, so Steve Trevor dies. Wonder Woman retreats under the ocean. Clark is looking for her, but everyone says check somebody else. She's down in a cave under the ocean that has a complete open area. There's no water in it. It's all oxygen that she just swam into.
That's the river Styx.
She later on goes to the river Styx, but she dives down into the ocean and just goes into a cave and sits there and cries. She eventually goes to the river Styx, right?
No, so
it's not even narrated right.
I know. She dove into the ocean. There was a panel where she gets to the bottom and then kind of like swims into the ground, and then the next panel she pops up out of the ground in the opposite direction and swims up through the water surrounded by souls. Her being in the cave, I think, is
after
or before. It's another point because she steals the flag from the house of Trevor's like sister-in-law or some shit like that. And that's when she goes to the cave to cry. I think that was shortly after he died. And then at some point she went to the river Styx. So when she dove into the ocean, she was going to the river Styx.
Yeah, I see that now.
The cave was a different time.
The timeline within one fucking issue inside of, well, I would say almost 40 pages, but a good part of that is the AEW backup.
It might be a better.
They can't. The timeline isn't even there. So Clark's looking for her. Everybody says check with somebody else. They do better. She goes to the underworld. She talks to Steve in the boat after he beat up carrying the ferryman for the river Styx.
What?
took his blanket, which was his robe, gives it to her. They say goodbye. She comes back to the beach, and that is when we find out that these 14 useless fucking issues were literally only to create King's new character. The stupid idea for Wonder Woman to have a kid. It's a good thing that Tom King respects the DC universe. You can tell by him making sure that nothing going on in the main universe happens in his book, because, you know, Steve Trevor is way fucking alive and was a huge part of the DC universe story throughout all of Absolute Power. Daniel Sempere is awesome. Morey can make Perfect look even better, but the rest of this is drivel and not worth reading at all. And I mean, unless it's for the art and the art alone, feel free to skip all 14 issues of this run and any coming up until King is off the book. Over a year of really, 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 really bad stories to introduce a character that nobody asked for or wanted. This is like Bendis if he stuttered. Way to go. I'm so glad you're helping out in the DC movie universe, especially the Green Lantern show. So fucking happy. 4 out of 10 because of Sempere.
My golden hope for Lanterns is, 1, he's not the only writer. 2, not everything he's writing has been total shit, despite what you think. And 3, it's a noir mystery story, which is something he excels at.
Written by who? No, something he once may have been good at, but he hasn't been good at it in nearly a decade. That's like when you guys were like, Bendis has wrote so many great stories. I'm like,
in the past.
The past.
Yeah.
In the fucking
I always said
past.
he had a fall off. He had a drop of quality.
And he never got better.
No.
Nope. His last good thing that he wrote was Omega Man. And that wasn't the best. But it was good. Was not the best. That was the last good thing Tom King wrote.
Shit.
That's what Supergirl was. Shit.
Point is, I still have hope for Lanterns because he's not the only writer. But that's besides the point.
I'm nervous as shit because we've got Tom King and Damon Lindelof, who wrote Lost.
Yes.
That's who's writing Green Lanterns.
And from what I never watched Lost, but from
Chewing
what I
my
understand,
nubs down.
for the most part, Lost was good. It just had a shit ending.
It was like a comic book where one arc spilled into another arc, and you're like, surely this will get answered later. And then that arc spilled into another arc, and you're like, well, okay, so long game. This is going to all make sense. And by the end of it, none of it did.
Like Heroes.
Heroes was totally fucking different. Heroes was because the writer strike scrappers came in and just did whatever the fuck they wanted, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Heroes started off really good.
Yeah, Heroes had a great first season. Second season was a interesting enough follow-up, but it just felt like not enough.
It just went all over the fucking place because they
okay.
brought in scab workers.
Again, we're not talking about weird TV shows.
No, we aren't, are we?
We're talking about... as much as you might want to right now, because I don't want to talk about this book any more than you do. I
forgot to change the cover. It is a beautiful cover, too.
It is a very beautiful cover. I'm liking these covers with the white background and the logo. I like these covers they have for all the first issues for the All-In imprint. And I love the art. I got a question for you. Do you remember the first issue of this run over a year ago?
Oh, my God.
No,
sure.
It was damn near a year and a half ago at this point.
About 14 months?
Well, give or take with the...
delays and all that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, like the event books, like Night Terrors and whatnot.
Oh, yes. I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry. But anyway, so over a year and a half.
Yeah, so the first issue where they had that Amazonian kill a bunch of people in a bar.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that never got addressed again.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
if that was the focal point of the story, and the whole point, like it started out being, was about Diana trying to find this Amazonian and figure out, 1, who she is, 2, why she's there, and 3, why is she so okay with just killing innocent people in a slaughter fashion, and 4, not giving two shits about what it's doing to her sister's reputations. If it was about that, probably would have been a way better story, but instead we're getting messed around timelines. We're getting killing off Steve Trevor for no good fucking reason. We're getting a drawn out story for some reason. It's been 14 issues and next to nothing has happened apart from Steve Trevor dying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Wonder Woman fought a bunch of villains, which I actually forgot happened. She was captured by the King of America.
She fought a bunch of army people.
Picking issues. No, there was a group of like villains that were working for the King as well. So you forgot about it.
Oh yeah, Grail but it was all bullshit. Grail should have been.
Grail should have been enough to like take. Well, she
Grail
lost
is
that
not a Class D villain. You dicks.
Well, Wonder Woman, didn't Diana lose that fight? Or was that after she got captured?
That was after she got captured.
Okay, see, like this whole thing.
Grail has been shit on for so
long. I know. She's not just an Amazonian. She's also a descendant of the new gods.
Yeah, she is Darkseid's daughter, mofos.
She has double the god power. I don't even know if there's power scaling. Like I say as much as the next Dragon Ball fan, power levels are bullshit, but goddamn, hers has got to be higher than Diana's.
Right?
You'd think. And all, I've been vocal about
all
before.
I'm saying is, for the love of fucking Pete, just listen to me, guys. I don't care what anybody says. Bring back Steve Orlando.
Bring back Greg Rucka.
Well, I mean, that's top of the list. A lot of people shit on Orlando's run, and I'm still saying that's way better than this.
Yeah, but fuck that. Bring back Greg Rucka. Why are we settling? Bring back fucking Greg Rucka. Don't settle. Bring back Rucka.
I think Rucka would have already come back if he had any more stories for Diana.
Yeah. Yeah, and all with this issue, I've been vocal about it before. I can't stand issues with jumping timelines. It gets confusing. It's all over the place. This
I never have a problem keeping track of it, and I got all fucked up.
Yeah. The point that I had to like tell you what the timeline was, and I have trouble following issues like that. 50 or so days in the span of 22 pages and like 3 moments.
Yep.
4 moments. But there was no reason this couldn't have been done in chronological order.
No.
Right?
There's not. There's also no reason to kill somebody off that isn't dead anywhere else to give yourself residuals.
Yeah.
That shit pisses me off.
He didn't even need to be killed off, period.
Period.
Want to make a baby? Have them make a baby. You don't need to kill off Steve Trevor.
But it's so poetic, man.
Is it, though?
No, it's not. It is not poetic.
Like, okay, you crossed the line with Alfred, but it kind of ended up okay in the end. Sure. Steve Trevor? Not necessary.
Yeah, not as dramatic as Alfred.
No.
And let's get shit straight here. It took a very long time and other writers to get what he did with Alfred to make sense.
Yeah. And now, to a certain points, I think everybody agrees, just don't bring Alfred back.
Yeah, no. For me, it's been so long. I mean, if they brought Alfred back, I'd probably boycott Batman books because it would just be absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
There's been so much that's come out of Alfred's death now, thanks to the creativity of other writers, like making Dick super fucking wealthy.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, can I also point out, and I didn't realize it until this issue, it clicked in my head that Dick Grayson is a billionaire and he's still living in what looks like an 800 square foot apartment.
Yeah. He's never been the type to like, I need to live the life of luxury. He's never like, he grew up in the Wayne Mansion, but he also started in a circus. Like, just because he has the billions doesn't mean he feels he needs to live in an extravagant house.
And so many different iterations and storylines and universes. He's either just not felt the need for the money, or he's actively rebuked the money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, someday they'll find another person who sold the #1 best-selling book, and hopefully they'll be good at their job. Amen.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. Did you give a score for that?
3.5 out of 10.
Even lower than me, you know you done fucked up, Tom. You done fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh,
what did you give it?
A 4.
Jesus.
I love Sam Perry.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, when I grade them, I try to do like 5 for art team, 5 for writing, right? And then I add it together, and I kind of balance it out that way. The writing here just straight fucking 0. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah. 0. Woo! All right, okay. So while we move past this Titanic flop, did you want to take us on over to the next issue?
That quite. I see what you did there, but Titan. Okay. Yeah. I just feel like it didn't translate as well. It made it sounded better in your head.
It's all all right off the cuff. So, not
I
all
mean,
of
it's
them
just-
can be winners.
Because you said Titanic, and I'm currently looking at the first page of Titans number 16, which we're about to cover, and it's the Watchtower in space. And I'm just thinking that it's going to sink. I'm like, well, shit, that's not right.
That's not right. That's not right at all.
All right, we are on Titans number
Where
16.
the fuck did an iceberg come from way out here in space?
Have you might not have seen? There's a Titanic episode of Futurama.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It is one of the greatest episodes of all time. It is fucking fantastic. And yes, the ship does sink at the end.
Imagine that.
But it's in space. It's in space. You got to see
Yes.
it. When it is fucking hilarious, especially if you've seen the movie and know a lot of the nuances and character moments and details of the actual movie.
Mhm.
Then you'll appreciate that episode more. It's
All right.
fucking hilarious.
Before you jump in to Titan 16,
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Every single
Yes, Bender's
all of
middle
these
name is Bending.
that wasn't it.
Okay, yes, his last name is Rodriguez.
I think I knew that.
His full name is Bender Bending Rodriguez.
Nice.
Yeah.
But in relation to Titans, all of these all of these first issue all in covers have had this white background with the character's logo on it.
Yeah.
Nightwing, Wonder Woman, etc.
Yeah.
What am I looking at behind the Titans?
A T in a circle.
Oh, I guess there is a little bit of white there up above
Yeah.
Raven, huh?
Yeah.
Aha. Okay. Mystery solved. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I'll bill you later.
I know.
All right, so we are on Titans number 16. Josh has disappeared, but that's okay. This is written by John Layman with art from Pete Woods and letters from Wes Abbott, with the cover you see before you from Pete Woods. So as I mentioned prior, we open up on the Justice League satellite, the Watchtower, if you will. The Titans are welcome to be on the Watchtower as full-fledged card-carrying members of the Justice League, as every hero is, while still being open to operate as a team, as the Titans, completely independent, just they're also be part of the Justice League, as every hero is now part of the Justice League. Even more so, they get their own wing in the Watchtower, much as we saw with the Green Lanterns last week in the Civil War special. The Titans are going to get their own section as well. Beast Boy, meanwhile, is ecstatic about this, while other members are having concerns about the efficacy of all this and if they're going to be stuck under the thumb of the Justice League. But Beast Boy is ecstatic because there's going to be an alien species zoo. Animals from all over the universe will be there, including one little creature he sees that looks very scared. So he morphs into it and then realizes there's teeth growing out of his head. And that's when this little beast decides to grow teeth out of his own head as well. And that mouth gets fucking huge and starts eating things left, right, and center. Starfire then reveals that it's a Tamaranian Carcalion, and it's not that it was not just that it was scared, but it's a very territorial species when it meets another one of its species. Normally it's docile, but when it sees another one, it gets territorial, and that's why it started attacking left, right, and center. All the heroes are starting to all the heroes that are surrounding it are doing what they can to keep it down, but then Roy shows up with a stun gun and tases it and knocks it out. And this is when Roy reveals that he's joining the team again. The Question then shows up, being the head of security, then just berates Beast Boy for causing a ruckus and even references all that shit where he turned into Starro, and the team takes his side and gets all up in Question's face. but then the Titans eventually calm down and head back to the Titans Tower, give everyone time to cool off and figure things out. And this is when Wally reveals that he is going to have to leave the team, as well as with Barry no longer having powers, he's going to focus on the Justice League. So he's going to have to step away from the Titans for a while, just in time for Roy to join, which kind of leaves Roy in an awkward situation. Because then arrive at the Titans Tower in Bloodhaven, and Donna gets a little brief, as she calls a deja vu moment, but really a vision where she sees all the Titans together in their teenage versions, complete with their old costumes and everything. It's only for a passing moment, so she lets it go after that. Then they all head upstairs. Dick and Donna whisper about revealing something, and as Beast Boy's transformed into a monkey, I guess he can hear very well. He hears what they're saying and then says, "What are you talking about?" And that's when Dick reveals that he's got his own shit going on, and he's constantly thinking about that if he wasn't busy balancing his personal problems going on in Bloodhaven with leading the Titans, protecting the world, all the stuff with Waller might not have happened. So he figures the team could use a big change in leadership, someone that could be more direct and someone that can actually focus a bit better on what's going on with the Titans. And that person will be none other than Donna. Everyone seems to agree except for Roy, who's just kind of overwhelmed with all the changes, with the stuff with Oliver and Wally leaving the team, and now Dick's no longer in charge. It's just a little hard for him to handle, but then he also gets a little vision of himself when he was a teenager, hooked on heroin, and then Starfire sees a vision of her being tortured back on Tamaran, and then it's figured out that everybody's starting to have a bit of a vision, including Raven, who is having a vision of her father, so she's able to under that pretense blasts everyone away because she doesn't know what she's doing. Roy looks up and finds the Clock King is there, as he announces he's been manipulating their memories for a while, i.e. turning back the clock inside their brains. Then he knocks out Roy with a kick to the face. Then Donna gets up and is ready to beat the shit out of the Clock King.
I'ma fuck you up.
Okay, so a couple notes. One, I didn't know the Clock King could do that. I just thought he was really good with keeping track of time.
Yeah, he says he got an upgrade, apparently so.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't know he was a metahuman at all. I thought he was just a weirdo. But, all right. A lot of changes, including Wally's suit. I mentioned it in our chat. Excuse me, when the preview for this issue came out, the preview images we saw were of the Titans on the Watchtower with a clear shot of Wally's new suit. And I gotta say, I hate it. I just straight up hate it. They took away so much red for the sake of something. I can't wait to see the next issue of The Flash, which, considering it's still being written by Cy Spurrier, I'm surprised even I'm saying it. But I just want to know why the costume change. What's the point? What's the purpose? What's the need? What's the necessity? Why is it happening? There's nothing wrong with having him in the all red suit. This suit is
all red suit.
Ugly as fuck. It's so no. I don't. Like I said, and I've been saying this since you first showed up in the movies. I would have even preferred the Ezra Miller Flash suit from the Justice League movie, and that one was god awful. Every time I see it, whoever's standing next to me, I say, "This is why this Flash suit's stupid," and I go on a 2-minute tirade about why that suit is dumb as fuck. And I would even prefer that over what we're getting here. Titans. Roy is back on the team.
Titans.
Yeah. Roy is back on the team. That's cool. Still a little arrogant. Fair, but at the same time, I thought he might have undergone a bit more growth after all his adventures with the Arrow fam, but when he's back with his friends on the Titans, he's still a little bit of an asshole, I guess. So
Seems like it. I guess maybe he feels like he has the ability to be himself.
yeah. All in all, not too much to bring home yet. It's really just detailing all these changes that is happening with the Titans that John Layman is putting into the story, and then we have a brief interaction with the Claw King. So I it's hard to really grade with the new creative team yet. I like the art. I am a fan of John Layman as a writer. At least I've loved his indie stuff. I haven't been a massive fan of all of his DC stuff, but I'm very interested in this so far. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what he's got planned going forward. I would have preferred if Wally was still on the team, but I get him needing to be on the Justice League. Maybe it's time to expand the Titans roster a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. For now, I will give it an 8 out of 10.
Well, all right. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all for a pretty hated on costume.
I mean, the costume was there for like 5 panels. I'm not going to cut the book for Wally's costume because it wasn't even this book that cost it.
That we know of. All right, so this whole thing was really unexpected. I think it was a turn in the story that I definitely didn't see coming. Nightwing giving Donna the leader role, and even more shocking, Clock King actually being a valid threat to the Titans. That's nuts, but here we are. I think it's going to be interesting to see where it goes and how it gets there. I know that pretty much everyone, Rob included, hates Wally's new costume. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Not a fan ready to die defending it, but I don't hate it that much. I do think that there's a bit too much black. However, I also feel like there's some of that Donna Troy sparkle going on in that black, so I'm curious about that too. There's got to be a reason for it, I guess is what I'm saying, and I'm itching to know what it is.
Yep.
The art is really good in most parts, though there are definitely some faces that have their expressions exaggerated a little too much. Others are drawn flat out amazing, like, period. Rachel's face is drawn like beautifully every single time, for example. But overall, this was really interesting, very easy to look at. The next issue should tell us if this is a ride that we want to go on. Until then, I will give this a rather breezy 7.5 out of 10.
Right on.
Are you disappointed that I don't hate the costume? Yes, you are disappointed that I don't hate the costume.
I'll be honest, I didn't quite catch you saying that. I heard you say everybody on the internet, much like Rob, hates the costume, and I just assumed you agreed.
It's not though. It's far from the worst costume change I've ever seen.
That's
and
true.
I think it's got a little bit too much black in it, but I'm not opposed to the black. What has me the most curious is that the black seems to have some of that OG Donna Troy sparkle in it, and I want to know where that comes from.
Duchess. Comes from Duchess.
It comes from Duchess. God damn it. Who knew that Wally was okay with fur?
I'm not getting into a furry conversation with you again.
That's just horrible. I said don't do it. So, yeah, 7.5 out of that one. And then I suppose we'll just go ahead and sidestep over to a solo adventure for the former team leader of the Titans. And that would be one Master Dick Grayson. So are you ready for me to get into the Titans?
Not yet, because I forgot to bring something up in the wrestling world during the news segment. I shared it earlier today. I don't know how many of y'all in the wrestling chat saw it on our Discord. By the way, folks, if you're watching, I know we have 2 viewers right now, but for listeners of the podcast later on, be sure to check out our Discord. We've had some people join up recently, and it's been a lot of fun, as I'm sure these users that joined us recently will attest.
Going all the time.
Pretty much, yeah. RVD, Rob Van Dam, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Oh my God.
yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I haven't read the article yet, but I saw the fucking
Yeah.
headline.
I don't remember the other person. RVD and another women's wrestler. I don't remember her name, from an indie circuit somewhere. Have joined forces to make a
Only
website
wrestlers.
called Only Wrestlers. It's like OnlyFans, but for wrestlers and wrestling fans. And despite what you might think, it's not porn. See, OnlyFans, history lesson for y'all, was never meant to just be about porn.
Wasn't supposed to be.
It wasn't supposed to be. It just ended up that way. Completely, almost want to say by accident. I guess it's just in their TOS they said, "Yeah, you could be nude if you want." And everybody's like, "Okay," and then it became known as a porn site. But here,
I've heard of there's some comedians that use it. Whitney
Yeah.
Cummings is one.
yeah, like some people still use it for its intended purpose. But for the most part, it's basically relegated to being a porn app now.
Oh my God! I just realized that I forgot to read AEW Origins.
Yeah, I haven't read this one either.
No, I have the whole book.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
it's
the whole
collected
thing
all
came
of
out.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I forgot to read it. I didn't get all the honorable mentions.
I mean that
I'm
one
so
kind of
disappointed in myself.
it wasn't. I think that one kind of just slid in under the radar. It might have been released early because they haven't even done all the single issues with the backups yet. So I don't know. Yeah, so it's a subscription based service where wrestlers can sign up and connect with the fans directly. But if you want to connect with the wrestlers, you have to pay a monthly subscription fee per wrestler. Free to sign up, free to subscribe to certain people, but it's up to the wrestler what they charge. I took a look at it. There are quite a few indie wrestlers and a couple of old quote-unquote legends, if you will. Like Chris Masters is there, RVD is there, Charlie Haas is there. If you're longtime wrestling watchers or wrestling fans, you might recognize those names. But there's also a lot of indie wrestlers in there too. Most of them seem to be around $20. There's some 10, whatever, but it's fucking weird. It's
like it's to interact with them.
It's to interact with them and for the wrestlers to like advertise and showcase and connect with the fans directly, as opposed to like Instagram where it can get a little bit overwhelmed. Here it's going to be a bit more streamlined, and while Instagram is free, so you're going to get thousands of people talking to you all at the same time, with this subscription-based service there's going to be a lot fewer people, so you can talk one-on-one with those fans more, right? I do hope it does not get to a point where they're just going to like, here's my titties. No porn on this, please.
Sable, put those things away. You're too old.
What would Brock say?
Who gives a fuck?
Oh my god.
As far as I'm concerned, she's still with Mark Marrow. So,
wasn't he abusive?
I have no idea, but that's who she was with way back in the day.
Yeah, I think they split because he was abusive.
Well, then she's single. She's dating Tori Wilson.
He's dating. Fair enough.
Or what's another one? Jacqueline. Jacqueline took her titties out. There we go.
Jesus. Nah, works better with Tori. They were both in DX together.
That's fair enough.
Was it DX? Either way, doesn't matter. But yeah, no, this is a thing. This is a real thing. Only wrestlers. RVD has started it with another wrestler whose name escapes me. And it's kind of bugging me, so I'm gonna look it up.
I know it was a female indie wrestler.
Yeah,
I can't remember what her name was though.
I have the article right here. Katie Forbes.
There you go.
Yeah. Called Only Wrestlers. Yeah, they are saying it's the OnlyFans for wrestlers, but it's called Only Wrestlers.
I suppose. Yeah. Well, we'll find out if there's titties coming or not.
Yeah.
Or more. Who knows? I mean, it's RVD. I have a weird feeling he's not opposed to letting it all hang out, even at 85 years old.
Is he? He's not 85.
No, he's not 85. He's up there, but he's not 85.
How old is he? He's 53. Holy shit.
Yeah. And unfortunately, still getting into the ring sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, apparently
it looks
Katie
like
Forbes,
it hurts him to move.
Katie Forbes is his wife.
Oh, no shit.
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
And she's 33.
I had no idea that Rob Van Dam ever got married again.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, even.
Hey, Snagglepuss, jeez.
Whoa, even. All right.
Yeah.
Are we all done talking about wrestling packages?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Then we shall move on to Nightwing. Let me go ahead and adjust the time that I wrote down here. All right. So Nightwing number 118. This is it. The Fallen Grayson finale. Written by Tom Taylor, art from Ciao Felipe, with colors from Adriano Lucas, except for page 24, which is art and colors by Bruno Redondo, the last page of the book. Letters from Wes Abbott with a Bruno Redondo cover, and take a look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous?
It is.
Always, always is. So, we quickly are shown why Heartless is stealing the hearts of others. It's to replace his own. And though he's using Blockbuster's heart currently, it's already failing. So he really needs to watch it. That's when he says the next heart he takes will be Dick Grayson's. After Heartless broadcasts throughout Bloodhaven that he and his army will be destroying the haven that Dick built, Dick decides that he needs to get ready to take the dog for a walk. Meanwhile, the entire Bat family is out looking for the kids of the criminals that Heartless stole to force them to work for him. An hour is up, and Heartless and his army are at the haven, but they are not alone. A whole damn city showed up to protect the haven for the children. Heartless talks some smack at him, and that's when Dick shows up, face to face with Heartless, clearing his name. He gets the phone call that the kids have been found and they are safe, and he announces it to Heartless's crew that the kids are safe, and of course they all turn on Heartless. After handing Haley's leash over to a kid that he knows from the haven, he follows after Heartless as he runs away from the mob trying to kill him. Heartless has got enhancements, so he's very fast as well as strong, but Nightwing is able to keep up, so he's being allowed to. Heartless jumps off of a building thinking that Nightwing can't follow, so the slow running was only to rub that into Dick's face. Dick isn't afraid anymore, though. Thank you, dead man. So he shocks Heartless by diving right off. He starts to beat on Heartless when the butler pulls a gun on him. Out of nowhere, Haley goes full Bitewing and bites the butler's arm, and then takes a bullet to the right side of her chest. Yeah, that's exactly what I said too. Now, as she lays whimpering, Nightwing cradles her as Heartless freaks out on Tony Zuko, who was there with the butler, screaming at him about not being who Heartless thought he was. Using the Heartless gun, he shoots Zuko through the head, taking away any potential justice that Dick could have felt after seeing Zuko on trial for the murder of his parents. And then we see Nightwing lose it more than I think he's ever lost it before. He begins to beat the hell out of Heartless, antagonizing him about how weak he is. And narcissist Heartless can't handle that. He picks up a shipping container to throw it at Dick, but his heart begins to give out. Silly thing there. Blockbuster's heart should have been huge and powerful. However, Blockbuster had previously had a heart surgery as well, and he has the heart of a gorilla. Not exactly optimum for a person to take as a transplant unless you're the size of a gorilla as well. Nightwing says, "Tell me how to save you," but Heartless won't. He says that the people will remember his name forever. Now, as Dick regretfully lets the maniacal narcissist die, he tells them that Oracle is going to erase him completely. No one will ever remember his name. He won't be insignificant. He'll be nothing. Heartless dies, knowing that all was for naught, and Nightwing scoops up Haley and walks away. Next, we see him at his parents' tombstone, talking to them, telling them his whole story. He then introduces his sister and his wife, and her wife, as well as Babs, saying that he hopes to make her his wife one day. The final page, drawn so incredibly beautifully against a backdrop stolen, or I guess we should say inspired by, but honestly stolen, from Vincent van Gogh's famous painting Starry Night. We see Nightwing and Oracle sitting together on a crane, way up at the top of the crane, looking over all of Bloodhaven together. And the best part of this beautiful full-page splash is Haley is right next to them. She made it.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I don't even know what else to fucking say about it. It's been a hell of a ride since day one. I have enjoyed every single issue. I know that's not been the case with most people, but I did. I got hella emotional during this too. I don't know why. Rough day, I guess. But while it felt good to see everything work out, it felt sad and at the same time warming to reach this conclusion. There was a lot that went into this story. It resolved a lot of shit for Nightwing, put him through a whole bunch of stuff, put Bloodhaven through a whole bunch of stuff, and the dog damn near died. And that was all better than Rick Grayson. This has been a hell of a book the entire time. Writing, art, and all of the rest. 9.25 out of 10. Without blinking an eye.
I am going to give it the exact same score. I can't say I have much else to say about it. It's quite a good ending. Taylor leaves a lot of emotions out on the table for longtime readers of not just him, but of this run. Bitewing nearly kicking the bucket was fucking heartbreaking, but I'm happy Bitewing is still around. Which I should have... You're muted, by the way. I should have remembered. I'm pretty sure Dan Waters mentioned that Bitewing was going to be around in his series. On a tweet.
See, I didn't.
I forgot that until just now. I think somebody on Twitter had asked him, "Are you going to keep Bitewing?" And he's like, "No worry, Bitewing's going to be there." He's like, "Okay, good," because we love Bitewing.
We love Bitewing. I'm not even shitting you. I'm sitting here reading the comic. That one was digitally. I'm sitting here staring at my big ass TV, reading my comic, and I flip to it, and I get to the page where Haley gets shot right in the chest, and I shit you not, I said, "Oh, Tom."
Yeah.
Like I know this guy, but it every
That's
single
the right
time.
response. That's the right answer.
The dude knocked on my heart a long time ago, and just he knows how to get into it, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think so, but I think Injustice at the very beginning is really sad.
I mean, for good reason. It really is.
Like heartbreaking sad.
Yeah. Especially when Superman snaps out of it and you see him just the shock and horror on his face
Yeah.
when he realizes who he was really holding.
Fucking tears, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking tears.
And then like
Tom Taylor, you're mean.
He hears both heartbeats stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he had no clue. Like, oh my god. You monster.
Yeah. Oh my god. That was something, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But okay.
Very good at evoking emotion.
He is very good at it. Kind of gets a breathe a sigh of relief and a sigh of wonder in that last page with Dick, Babs, and Haley all looking at Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night.
Yeah.
Of all things, which was beautiful. Like,
so fucking good.
Such a perfect last page to a run.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like the run or hate the run, yeah, like that's just a perfect last page for anything. It was so good. I
mean, Dick wasn't put through the ringer in this run, which lasted, what, 80 issues?
No, not quite 80. I think he took over in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Maybe
I feel
80s?
like it's been a lot longer.
No, it hasn't been that long. Yeah.
Been reading this my whole life, man.
It's been close to 50 issues, I think.
Right. Still a hell of a fucking run.
Yeah. And just knowing that at the end of this, while Nightwing was the one that got the final punch in, he, as Dick Grayson, fought Heartless on two fronts, not just as Nightwing, but also as Dick Grayson, and won both fights. And that was fucking beautiful. It was poetic. It was good justice. And it was, I think, a very satisfying ending and a conclusion to this, not just arc, but whole run. I know a lot of us complained about the stuff with Heartless was taking way too long to manifest and get to a point. But like, now that we're here and we see the end of it and see the finish, I'm okay with it.
Perfect
I'm more than okay with it. Perfect fucking timing. Yeah.
Yep. It was all a snowball. You know, finish what? Or actually, let me just say a sentence. It was all a fucking snowball to lead to that last page. Yeah. And what that last page showed us is that Dick Grayson, using the same tools that Bruce Wayne always had, was able to do the one thing that Batman wasn't, and that was save his city. Batman's never been able to turn Gotham bright.
Damn.
Dick Grayson did.
Damn.
Look at that cover. Bloodhaven.
Damn.
Is gold.
Damn. You had to go there.
Yep.
Holy shit.
I'm telling you, man.
That's
what I got from that cover after reading it. I'm like, that's why the everything's gold, because Bloodhaven's golden now.
Yeah, he's turned it around. He's made it better.
He saved the city.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Dan Waters has in store.
Right, be really interesting given his preferred kind of topics in writing style.
Exactly.
Do we know who the artist is?
We do, but I don't remember.
Okay.
Look it up real quick. So I was going to ask, what score did you give it?
I gave this one a 9.25 out of 10.
I am going to be right there with you. I'm also going to give it a 9.25. You know what? Fuck it. 9.5. Dexter Soy is doing the interiors.
Oh my fucking god! Are you serious?
Colors from Veronica Gandini.
Oh my god! It's gonna be gorgeous.
Yep, it's gonna be gorgeous and well written.
So pretty.
And I don't know if this has got to be. This is Dan Waters' photo on League of Comic Geeks. I did not think, though I should have figured, he looks like a fucking metalhead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen pictures of him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, holy shit. I just pictured him with short hair. I don't know why. But yeah, 9.5 for Nightwing, number 118. Terrific run, Mr. Taylor. Kudos. Really well done.
Terrific
I liked
indeed.
it. And goddamn, that single page issue, that single panel issue. Still one of my all-time favorites. Kudos
Beyond
to
a shadow of a doubt, man.
Bruno Redondo and Tom Taylor knocked it out of the park with that one.
With a whole bunch of them, but this one in particular.
Yep.
All right, well, I guess that is everything, right?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
then you
about
want to go ahead and move on through with the top 3 and favorite moment?
Let's do it.
All right, my top 3 is real simple. If you could follow the grades that I gave, and I even had to pull in an honorable mention because of how absolutely amazing the story was. So third place went to Green Lantern, second place went to Nightwing, and first place went to This Is Our Land, a Blue Beetle story, with my absolute 100% favorite moment in months of comic books, but definitely this week is going to be that final page of Nightwing.
I had a feeling that was going to be your favorite moment. That was going to be my favorite moment too, but I have another. So for me, number 3 is going to be World's Finest. Number 2, I have Green Lantern, and at number 1, I have Nightwing. If I had had the chance to read that Blue Beetle story, I have a feeling our top 3 might have been a little closer.
It's a graphic novel, so it's like 200 pages, but oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah. Is it?
So is The Strange Case of Harleen and Harley. You will like that too, I think.
I'll give it a shot.
It goes back to when Harley was a kid. She's living with her mom and dad. She's got a brother and a sister.
Yeah.
It starts off really good before she's ever met the Joker.
Right.
But she kind of does meet him. Totally different though. But it's good.
Fair enough.
So good. And Blue Beetle's way better.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll check them out for sure. My favorite moment is going to go to last page of Green Lantern with that reveal for Predator returning. It was going to be that last page of Nightwing as well, because that was a goddamn beautiful last page, but
fucking so pretty.
I will give it to the last page of Green Lantern because that just opens so many fucking doors. We have 2 Green Lantern issues in a row with shock, surprise, twist endings that just make you want more. Mm-hmm. You have Red Lantern Mogo, and then you have Predators back, and oh my god, I gotta go back
and
to issue 15 and see what the fuck happened there, because I don't remember how that ended, and that might have been fucking dope too.
All I could say, these last 2 issues in particular, it's not just Jeremy Adams' writing that makes you want to keep going. Xermanico's art is absolutely fucking amazing.
It is so good.
I fell in love with him during the death metal, his art styles and whatnot, but Xermanico's just fucking, he's top of the line, man.
Yeah.
You have to be if you're going to go by one name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You really do. You really, really do.
Well, I guess that was it. So thank you everybody for watching. Oopsie. 1 second. I forgot to write it down. Give me just a second, guys.
Sure.
All right, so this is a little odd, but we've got some books coming out immediately after they came out this week. Next week, we're going to be covering Detective Comics number 1090, Nightwing 119, Superman 19, Action Comics 1072, Absolute Wonder Woman number 1, Green Arrow 17, The Flash 14, Harley Quinn 44, and then there's so many that I'm looking forward to. Batman the Brave and the Bold number 18, Power Girl number 14, Green Lantern Dark number 1 comes out next week. Death in the Family, Robin Lives continues. DC Horror Presents is number 1 will be out next week, and so many more. You guys have got to turn in because I don't know how to shut up, and they gave me enough to talk about. So thank you for watching and listening later. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time, same geek channel, and that is the show. We're getting out of here, so you have to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
Peace.